A very warm good evening to you all. Once again, welcome back to your favorite and my favorite BioPoint Stream the World of Bio. And once again, we are back with yet another super cool, super awesome, and absolutely amazing series of breathing and exchange of gases for the Sweet Need 2022 and the 2021 batch as a one shot lecture. And this is the part 2 of this one shot. As we cannot complete this part in this first lecture itself, let's move on with yet another super awesome session from your favorite and my favorite BioPoint Stream the World of Bio. And once again, welcoming you all to this session of breathing and exchange of gases. And if you are a new member, do not forget to join the Telegram group at BioPoint New, where we conduct the live YouTube lectures, free mock tests, quizzes, and polls. Oh my god, 1 second. Yeah, okay, guys. And once again, reminding you all to hit the like button, do share this video with your friends, and do subscribe the YouTube channel BioPoint Stream the World of Bio. And do not forget to remark us by leaving a comment in the comment section. Once again, a hearty welcome to all of you to this yet another session from BioPoint Stream the World of Bio. So these all things we have completed, and now we are gonna move to the gaseous transport, right? Exactly. Gaseous transport. So what is this meant by gaseous transport? Gaseous transport means the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide between blood and the tissues and alveoli and the blood. This is what we say to be the gaseous transport. It is the transport of respiratory gases from alveoli to systematic tissues and vice versa. Transport of gases, that is oxygen transport occurs between lungs and tissues, that is in physical solution by blood plasma and as oxyhemoglobin. And carbon dioxide transport occurs from tissues back to the lungs as carbonic acid, carbaminohemoglobin, and bicarbonates. So, carbon dioxide is mainly transported in the form of bicarbonates. Okay, the main form of transportation of carbon dioxide is bicarbonate, and oxygen is mainly transported as oxyhemoglobin. Okay, clear with that? This is how the gases are transported in the human respiratory system. So now we are going to learn in detail about the oxygen transport. In physical solution, that is blood plasma, only 3% of oxygen is carried by blood plasma as a dissolution in plasma. Okay, as oxygen molecules get dissolved as what? A form of dissolution in plasma, oxygen is transported to tissues. Clear with that? And as oxyhemoglobin, how it is transported and how much percentage it is transported? It is transported by hemoglobin, and how much percentage of oxygen does it carry? It carries the rest 97 percentage of oxygen as oxyhemoglobin and 3 percentage as 3 percentage in physical solution along with blood plasma. Clear with that? Clear with that? Give me hearts on the screen. Give me hearts. It's perfectly clear. Fast, guys, fast. Okay then, guys, hope it's perfectly clear. Let's move on with the next part. That here we are having the festival in the temple, the 10 days festival, and now today it has started only. And if there is any disturbance with the audio, kindly cooperate with that. Okay, guys, that's why we have postponed the class as a premiering, rather than the live at what in the night 7 p.m. And we have did it as a premiering session. So, guys, please just cooperate with that. And the continuous 10 days we will be having the temple festival of this temple near our home, and the next month another 10 days we are having the festival of another temple near near to near to almost near to my home. Okay, guys, so let's have the Josh in the class and let's move on with this session. And next is the detailed transport as oxyhemoglobin. Okay, guys. So now let's discuss how this oxyhemoglobin is formed. As you all know, Hb4, that is the hemoglobin, combines with four molecules of oxygen to form Hb4O8. That is what we say to be the oxyhemoglobin. Clear with that? Oxyhemoglobin, and this is also called as oxygenation. Hb has four heme units, and so each Hb molecules carry four oxygen molecules. So 4O2 refers to O8. And how much Hb? Hb has four heme units. So Hb 4O8. This is what the reaction is. This is how oxyhemoglobin is formed. Clear with that, guys? Hope it's perfectly clear. Then what else? So those who all are here in this session, do not forget to hit the like button. Once again, reminding you to hit the like button. Do hit it right now. Right now. Next, we are moving on to the next part, that is in tissues. We have low partial pressure of oxygen, PO2. As I have said you, or as I have told you, PO2. This refers to what? Partial pressure of oxygen. PCO2. This refers to what? Partial pressure of carbon dioxide. And high H plus ion concentration and higher temperature exists. So oxyhemoglobin dissociate to release oxygen. This is what happens into the tissue. So the blood carries, or the hemoglobin carry, the blood carries this oxyhemoglobin. Okay, blood carries this oxygen as oxyhemoglobin, and it releases into the tissues as it dissociates into oxygen. Okay, only oxygen is converted or released into the tissues. Clear with that, guys? Clear with that? Moving on to the next. Every 100 ml of oxygenated blood can deliver around 5 ml of oxygen to the tissues under normal physiological conditions. So 100 ml of oxygenated blood releases how much oxygen? Only 5 ml of oxygen. Clear with that? So hope it's perfectly fine till now. Moving on to the next part, that is the very important oxygen hemoglobin dissociation curve. Oxyhemoglobin dissociation curve. Look here, it is a sigmoid curve, right? It is just a sigmoid curve, that is, it's like this, right? As my pen is not at all useful, it's like this. So it's just a curve like this. And what happens is that on the y-axis we have taken the percentage saturation of hemoglobin with oxygen, and in the x-axis we have taken the partial pressure of oxygen, that is mm per hg. Clear with that? This is how the graph is plotted, and it is obtained when percentage saturation of hemoglobin with oxygen is plotted against the partial pressure of oxygen. So why such a graph is useful? By plotting such a graph, we can study the effect of factors like partial pressure of carbon dioxide, hydrogen ion concentration on binding of oxygen with hemoglobin. When hemoglobin is formed, guys, listen. When hemoglobin is formed, what is the changes occurring in? That is whether the rate increases or decreases, or whether it remains constant. Whatever the effects are, along with partial pressure of carbon dioxide and hydrogen ion concentration. This is what we plot in hemoglobin dissociation curve, and this graph is a sigmoid curve. Clear with that, guys? Clear with that? Give me thumbs up right now if it's perfectly fine right now. Give me thumbs up. I will wait for 5 seconds. Give me thumbs up. Okay, guys, 5 seconds extended to 10 seconds. Very sorry. I just checked my mobile right now. That's why. Okay, so moving on to the carbon dioxide transport. Till now, we have discussed the oxygen transport, and now we are gonna check with the carbon dioxide transport. In tissues, the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is high due to catabolism. Okay, due to catabolism. All of you know about catabolism and anabolism that we have learned in the very first chapter of living world. So partial pressure of oxygen is low. So as you all know, since the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is high in tissues, the partial pressure of oxygen is low there. So in lungs, so whereas in lungs the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is low and the partial pressure of oxygen is high. This favors carbon dioxide transport from tissues to lungs. This favors the transport of carbon dioxide from tissues to lungs. It occurs in three ways. It occurs in three ways: as carbonic acid, as carbaminohemoglobin, as bicarbonate. So mainly this 70 percentage is transported or converted to bicarbonated ions and transported. 23 percentage combines with hemoglobin and forms carbaminohemoglobin, and 93% diffuses into RBC. Clear with that, guys? Clear with that? Hope the audio and video is perfectly fine. So let's move on with the next part, that is as carbonic acid. 7 percentage, only 7 percentage is dissolved in plasma water to form carbonic acid and is carried to lung. Look here, look here, look here. This is the 7 percentage dissolved in plasma. So carbon dioxide plus H2O gives H2CO3, that is the carbonic acid. So what is this H2O? Is that pure water? Is that pure water, guys? Is that pure water? It is the plasma water. It is the fluid plasma. Clear with that? Clear with that? That is what is referred to as H2O. Since it is a fluid, we denote it as H2O. Okay, and doesn't mean that it is a pure water. As carbaminohemoglobin, look here. In tissues, 20 to 25 percentage of carbon dioxide binds to hemoglobin to form carbaminohemoglobin. In alveoli, carbon dioxide dissociates to form carbaminohemoglobin. In alveoli, carbon dioxide dissociates to form carbaminohemoglobin. That is carbon dioxide plus HbNH2. That is, in tissues it moves forward as carbaminohemoglobin, and back to lungs also it moves forward as in the form of carbaminohemoglobin. Clear with that? The blood transport this carbon dioxide in the form of carbaminohemoglobin 2. Clear with that? As bicarbonate, very important, 70 percentage. I know I am moving a little bit fast. I know I'm moving a little bit fast. Very sorry, guys. Very sorry. Because if I just stop talking and just listen, wait for the chats, just spare time to wait for the chats right now, what happens is that the audio of the temple just raises more than my voice, and it will be a great disturbance for you to listen in this session. Clear with that? So about 70% of carbon dioxide is transported by this method. RBC contains an enzyme known as carbonic anhydrase. Carbonic anhydrase. This carbonic anhydrase helps in the conversion of carbon dioxide to carbonic acid, and helps in the release of carbonic acid. Okay, helps in the release of bicarbonate ion to ion and hydrogen ion. Okay, this bicarbonate ion. So carbonic acid is further converted to bicarbonate ion by carbonic anhydrase. It's an enzyme. Clear with that? Clear with that? Clear with that? So moving on to next. Yeah, that's all for the oxygen carbon dioxide transportation. Okay, I think this session will be a very less time, right? This session will be of a very less time. Oh my god, I haven't included the problems too. So after completing this, let me take my book and I will add the problem. I will add the problem right in front of you. Right in front of you, I will add the problem, and what you can do is we will discuss that right now too. Clear with that? Clear with that? So regulation of respiration is the next topic. So regulation of respiration. In brain, there are the following respiratory centers as respiratory rhythm center, pneumotaxic center, chemosensitive area. So respiratory rhythm center, pneumotaxic center, and chemosensitive area. Oh my god. Okay. So first one, that is the respiratory rhythm center. These are the inspiratory and expiratory centers. Controls the rate of inspiration and expiration, and it is seen in medulla oblongata, and it regulates respiratory rhythms like inspiration and expiration. Clear with that? The next one, that is the pneumotaxic center. That is seen in the pons. That is seen in the pons. It moderates the function of respiratory rhythm center. Moderates the function of respiratory rhythm center. That is impulse from the center reduces the duration of inspiration, thereby after respiratory rate. So reduces the duration of inspiratory center, thereby helping in reducing the inspiratory rate. Clear with that? Okay, guys. So once again, remembering you, if you are a new member, do not forget to subscribe the YouTube channel BioPoint Stream the World of Bio, and do not forget to hit the like button. Do share it with your friends, and do not forget to remark us by leaving a comment in the comment section. Next is the chemosensitive area. That is seen adjacent to the rhythm center. Okay, that is seen adjacent to the rhythm center. Increase in the concentration of carbon dioxide and hydrogen ions activate this center, which in turn signals the rhythm center. So, what are the three centers? Respiratory rhythm center, pneumotaxic center, and chemosensitive area. So chemosensitive from the term itself, from the chemicals, that is the carbon dioxide and H plus ions activate this chemosensitive center. Receptors in aortic arc and carotid, just leave that. And role of oxygen in the regulation of respiratory rhythm is quite insignificant. So what is the role of oxygen in regulating this respiratory rhythm centers? It's quite insignificant till now. Okay, guys. Next is the last and final topic, that is the disorders of respiratory system. Disorders of respiratory system. First one, the very first one is asthma. That is, it is the difficulty in breathing caused due to the wheezing or inflammation of bronchi and bronchioles. Look here, the normal airway, bronchiole, and it gets wheezed. Due to that, there causes a blockage or difficulty in breathing, and that is what is said to be asthma. Second one, that is emphysema. It is due to the damage of alveolar valves. Look here, the alveolar valves are damaged. It is caused due by cigarette smoking. It is caused by cigarette smoking. It decreases the respiratory surface. Clear with that, guys? Clear with that? Clear with that? Moving on to the next, that is occupational respiratory disorders. Okay, guys. So certain industries produce so much death, so defense mechanism of the body cannot cope up with this situation. Long exposure causes inflammation leading to fibrosis, that is proliferation of fibrous tissues, and resulting in lung damage. Workers in industry should wear protective masks, that is in quarrying, mining, gold mining. All those things result in such inflammations of the fibrous tissues resulting in fibrosis. So guys, please be careful. This is up entirely theory part. This last sessions all are a theory part. So guys, do not forget. Just focus on that. Just focus it. That's why it doesn't need much explanation, and that's why we have completed the lesson this much fast. Okay, guys. Oh my god. Okay. So now let's discuss with this question. Let's discuss some of the questions. Let me ask you some of the questions. Okay, guys. Okay, fine. So what else? What else? What else? Okay, let me take the white screen. Let me take the white screen. Let me take the white screen. And by this time, let me and moving on to my room to take the book. Okay, to ask you some questions. Okay, guys. And what else to say is that by the time I have to pause the recording, or else, okay, just wait that I will just move on by continuing this recording by just muting my mic itself. I will just go on. Okay, and by that time, what you have to do is you have to revise the entire chapter right now. Okay, revise the entire chapter right now. Revise it right now, and after that, we will move on to the question. Revise it right now. Let me go and take my book. Okay, guys, so just stay patient for a while. Bye. I will be back soon. Okay, guys, I'm back. Hope you all have read at least the outline of the chapter. Clear with that? So let's have it some questions. So in the comments, you may remark us our suggestions for us. So guys, what? Just focus on the question. I cannot add it, and I will just what? What to say? I will just read it aloud, or else I will just try to type it. Okay, typing because writing may not might be clear. Okay, that's why. Okay, guys. So the very first question from the last topic that we have learned, disorders of respiratory system. Emphysema. Emphysema. Oh my God. Emphysema is caused by. Emphysema is caused by. The very first question. Emphysema is caused by. Answer me, guys. Option A, cigarette smoking. Option B, liquor consumption. Option C, drug addiction. Option D, reduced oxygen carrying capacity of blood. As you all know, as we have discussed right now, emphysema is caused by cigarette smoking. Right? Emphysema is caused by cigarette smoking. Clear with that? So I am not writing the answers. I am not writing the answers. I'm not gonna write the answers, or else it might be getting a confusion for you. I know this class is becoming a little bit lag and bore for you. So just cooperate. Just cooperate. This is because of me only, because I haven't added the questions. Okay, that's why. So asthma may be attributed to, next question, asthma may be, it's may, okay guys, it's may, asthma may be attributed to, asthma may be attributed to, comment me the answers, comment me the answers. Asthma may be attributed to inflammation of trachea, accumulation of fluid in the lungs, bacterial infection of lungs, allergic reaction of the mast cells in the lungs. Inflammation of trachea, accumulation of fluid in the lungs, bacterial infection of the lungs, allergic reaction of the mast cells in the lungs. Be fast, comment me right now. Comment me right now with the answers. Asthma may be attributed to the father. We will just a very few simple questions right here in the class. Okay, in order to just boost up your confidence, simple questions. Okay, guys. So, and what else we are gonna do is we will provide this 100 questions in the next day. Today we have living world. Okay, today we have posted the living world. So the very next day, that is tomorrow itself, we will be start doing this respiratory system 100 questions, and the answer of this question, asthma may be attributed to, asthma may be attributed to allergic reaction, right? Asthma is an allergy to test. So allergic reaction of the mast cells in the lungs, allergic reaction of the mast cells in the lungs is what we say to be asthma is. Clear with that? Clear with that? Clear with that? Moving on to the next question. Oh my god. Moving on to the next question. Moving on to the next question. Or else just stop this discussing question because it's getting a bit bore and lag today. So once again reminding you, do not forget to join the Telegram group at BioPoint New, and do hit the like button, do share this video, and do not forget to subscribe the YouTube channel BioPoint Stream the World of Bio, and remark us by leaving a comment in the comment section. I just stopped what discussing the questions because it's getting a little bit lagged right now. Since I want to type, I want to read, I want to explain, everything is getting a bit lag today. So guys, what you have to do is just attend this session, just focus on whatever is taught in this one short lecture, part 2 and part 1 in the previous lecture. And this is a premiering session, as you all know, and we'll be focusing on your chats too. So guys, just have a clear attention on that and be thorough with this chapter of breathing and exchange of gases. Soon I will be back with yet another chapter for you, and till then stay tuned. It's me signing off from your favorite and my favorite BioPoint. Stay in the world of bio. Bye bye.